What's going on, peeps? Okay, look. There's I've noticed, and this has been going on for the years, especially in the Dinar community. I've listened to older videos, I've read older articles where people are just overhyped. They're overexcited about the smallest piece of news, only to find out that that little piece of news is wrong. Okay? So I want to go over a couple things because really what I try to do now is just keep people grounded. Trust me when I tell you this, man. I just want to make sure you guys are grounded. One thing you should never do is never spend your money before you got it. Now I'm going to tell you a quick little story. I used to work for this company called Cabalage and Associates. They were an arbitrational firm. We used to get huge bonuses, a percentage of commissions. And at one time I was part of a deal, a huge deal, in which the commission for the company was about $120 million. It was big. And our commission, we get 10% of that. The deal looked phenomenal. Everything was done. We had been in the meetings. There was no negative meetings. All I needed to do is I got to the day where I couldn't sleep because the following day would be the day that we sign the contracts. Once the contracts are signed, it is set in stone. I would receive my bonus, my share of the $120 million. So 10% of $120 million, of course, is $12 million. Actually, I'd be lying to you if I told you it was just the night before that I had trouble sleeping. I actually had trouble sleeping for the whole week of negotiations. Everything was set in stone. Everything was fine. All of it was good. Everything was fine and dandy. We get there the next day. We have the two teams there. We have our team on one end of this $30,000 marble table. It's a gorgeous table. And on the other side was the team and their lawyers. And they spent the morning going over and finalizing all the paperwork. It had been finished. So here's the trick I've learned about contracts this day. And I'm going to explain what happened. As we're sitting there hours into this and we're getting ready to sign it, something pops up. Something catches the attention of the lawyer on the opposite side of the table. And he's pretty upset and he's explaining how we had tried to trick their client. We had changed the wording that everybody had agreed on in the contract. And he pointed it out. My boss on my side was saying it's an oversight. Let's look at it. He said, this is a mistake. It can't be corrected. But by then, the client was so pissed that our company tried to pull a fast one on him. They walked away from the deal. Two things I learned from this. One is this. Always, before you sign the contract, no matter what you guys negotiate, no matter what you agreed upon, read it before you sign it. My boss ended up admitting later on to me that they did change the contract during the nighttime. He just thought they would sign this contract because, they had already went over everything. Everything was done, blah, blah, blah. They would just sign it. Everything would be peaches and cream. He would get what he wanted. So he lied. They did. They changed the contract. The client walked away. I lost $12 million. $12 million. I already had spent the money in my mind. I was going to get a house. I was going to get a car. I was going to do this. I was going to do that. The money had already been spent. In my mind, I was already living a lifestyle of a millionaire, of the rich. I was already living that lifestyle. In my mind, I had already pictured myself going places and doing things. It was there. I was emotionally convinced that I was already a millionaire, despite the fact that I didn't have a single penny of that money in my bank account. That is the worst feeling in the world. Okay? So to keep a lot of you from falling into that trap, one, never spend your money before you've earned it or before you've gotten it and it is in your bank and you can see it reflect on your deposit and in your balance. Okay? I'm just telling you guys this because I want you guys to stay grounded. Stay grounded. Because the things that I'm hearing right now, when I come back and I correct what you guys are being told, it feels like everybody thinks I'm peeing in your Wheaties. I'm not here to pee in your Wheaties. I'm here to just keep things realistic. Okay? Now again, I'll go over something quickly so I can explain. I'm not here to pee on your Wheaties. I really just want you guys to stay grounded. Quick reminder, of course, is if you want to join us, we have a Facebook group. I will leave a link in the description. Okay, so you guys, this was shown to me already. This was already shown to me. I already did a video explaining to you what this is. This is the general price index of the Iraqi stock exchange. I explained to you how they come up with the numbers, although I do think it's interesting that nothing was reported until February 2020. Okay, as a person who is a stockholder, of course, this is exciting for me to see it jump so much. Okay, but people are like, oh, come over to the side, hit this down to 1 year, then hit to show the values. Okay, I did it. And lo and behold, what do we see? So if you look, the values are reported in the hundreds, 400s at different levels here. Then you come down here to February and it shows not 400, but 462,830. So is that because there is a jump in the currency? Well, let's hope it is. But not to pee in your Wheaties, let me remind you of a couple of things. One is this. Remember in this picture here. Remember around November and December of 2019, we saw this. Oh, the money supply had dropped. We thought it had dropped from around 50-something trillion down to almost nothing. We thought, oh my God, the number something, blah, blah, blah. We had gotten excited. The whole world was coming to an end. We were jumping up and down thinking they had made the rate change. Do you guys remember this? Okay. This, even I fell victim to it. People from all over the dinar community was reporting that the money supply had drastically been lowered. Therefore, doing an exchange rate would be okay because there's not that much Iraqi dinar. Do you guys remember this? Some of you may not. This is something that was reported in October, November, December. We saw from sometime in October, the money supply drop all the way down here by December. It was a huge drop. It was something like 50 trillion dinars had just suddenly magically been erased off the books. And we thought, oh, they must be getting ready to do the rate change. So they wanted to reduce the number of dinar that was in circulation. That's what we thought. Come to find out, that's not what happened. Currency issued by the CBI. Well, here it is. As you can see, it was a glitch. It was a glitch in the system. Something had went wrong. And this is what it looks like now, corrected. Okay? This is what you're looking at. So, the amount of currency issued by the CBI, the glitch caused everybody to lose their shit. And everybody got overly excited. I don't want you to do that again. Now, I'm not saying what we're looking at is a glitch. I'm saying it might be. We'll find out when the stock exchange obviously opens back up. Now, again, you have only one guru out there saying that the rate change, based on some information that he was given by divine intervention, was tied into the auctions and the ISX, and that by the time they both open, we would see that indeed the rate change had taken place. But that is not the case. We see that the auctions are going again, and there is no rate change as of yet. But this is interesting here, and I explained to you guys what a general price index is. Now, this does absolutely looks exciting. Do you think I wouldn't be excited if this is accurate? Of course. Of course it would be exciting because it looks like the values have increased 1,000-fold. Okay? And yes, I do see the comma here. I do see that. But is it possible, like we thought that the amount of dinar had been drastically reduced, is it possible that this was meant to be a decimal? By mistake was put there a comma and a correction will come later. It's possible, and let me explain why. This is done in February. Well, what month are we in? We are in April. We know for a fact that March, they suspended and stopped the action on the ISX. We know this. But that doesn't mean there shouldn't be a report here for March. March is done. It only is going to have a half month's worth of numbers. Just because it closed down on the 16th doesn't mean there won't be no numbers there. There will be. Okay? So if this rate change happened in February, how come we didn't hear about it? If it happened in February, how come we didn't hear about it in March? We had half a month in which the ISX was operating, but we didn't hear anything about this. Now here we are on the 20th of April, and it's still nothing for the March numbers up here. The auctions are going. It would seem to me that this would be the news everywhere. Not just because we spotted this. This because other economists would see this. Investors would see this. Speculators would see this. Banks would see this. People would have seen this, and they would guess what they would be doing. It would cause the biggest, largest wave of speculators running to exchanges everywhere around the world to grab the dinar because they're showing a rate change here, and the rate change has not yet happened on the exchange. Now, do you think somebody's going to let that type of cat out of the bag? Do you really think that this is legitimate? Could be, but it seems to me we would have heard a lot more about it. Could be, but it seems to me if that was the case, you would see mad amount of people, investors, fund managers, all kinds of people running there just buying out the dinar. You would have none anywhere because people would know what the rate change is going to be before they announce it. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I am heading with this? Could this just be another glitch in the system or a mistake in the system that needs to be corrected? Again, I'm not here to pee on your guys' Wheaties, man. I'm here to keep you guys as grounded as possible. Okay? I don't want you guys to spend the money before you've actually gotten it. Because you guys keep getting emotionally let down over years of mental abuse in the dinar community. Okay? We had a person say divine intel told him that when the auctions come and the CBI reopens, we'd have a rate change. And not that I'm picking on him, but when I showed you guys that the auctions indeed started, although I was wrong with the ISX, but I explained why. And although the auction started, man, you guys have lost your crap. You guys were attacking each other and fighting. There was camps. Everybody got tribal. Over what? Because people wanted to believe that individual so badly that they were just denying what they were seeing in plain sight. In plain sight, you could see the truth. Okay? So again, we find out that the auctions are indeed going, and there is no rate change. Although the CBI or the ISX is not open, you guys are fooling yourself if you don't think that I'm not rooting for that to be the truth. I would benefit from it just as much as you guys would. Okay, again, so don't count the money before you actually get it. You guys stay grounded. There's nothing wrong with going, okay, I hope it happens. Look, I don't want to pee in your guys' Wheaties, but we've reported crap off that internet before, the internet website, and it was wrong. Some of you guys will remember this. We thought there was a huge 50 trillion dinar reduction in currencies that were circulated, when in fact that's not the case. That's not what happened. There just needed to be a correction. Okay? That's all it is. Now, I get why you guys are excited. So, you tell me in the comments, is this a glitch? Did they mistakenly put a comma there instead of a period? Don't you think that if this happened in February, we would have heard about it by now? Don't you think that this type of news, if it got out, would have caused the largest one-sided rush to exchanges everywhere, that somehow, some way it was leaked out, that the rate had changed before they actually announced it? Good Lord, man, that would be one of the biggest FCC violations or FEC violations that's ever occurred. Can you imagine the fine and the penalties for this type of mistake to have happened, if this in fact is the truth? Now, I don't want you again to misunderstand me. Let's hope that this is accurate. Let's hope that it's accurate. But this would have been a lot more convincing had this been March numbers, even though there was only half a month, not February's, because this means if this happened in February's, well, how? We should have heard about it by now. Okay, you guys? Again, I just want you to stay grounded. Is this thing accurate? Is this the value of the stock index? Has it increased by 1,000? Well, what does that mean about our currencies that we hold? I think that would put us around, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere not so much as about $1.13, $1.34, if you take in consideration the 62,000 on the side. Now, heck, I would love that, because that would make me look like a freaking genius now, wouldn't it? When I said that this was going to happen. But what's that mean to all you people out there who thought you're going to get a 322 rate? Think about that. Okay, so, look, I don't know what this means. It could just very well be a glitch again. It might be that somebody meant to put a period, and this thing and it's probably rounding to the 2 decimal points, I'm guessing. Since this is a comma, it didn't round like it should on these other ones. Okay, but this looks like the consistent pattern. You could see it here. It's around the same numbers. All right, are we hoping that it is the other? Of course we are. Of course we are. But you guys, stay grounded. There's nothing wrong with wanting it to be that. But I know already for a fact that a lot of you are emotionally getting tied up in all these intels, this divine intel and all this, because when I proved that the auctions were indeed happening, good Lord, you'd have thought hell on earth just unleashed. Okay, but that's not the case. Okay, so let's hope maybe this is right. I doubt it. We are talking about the Central Bank of Iraq, and they have made boo-boos before. Okay, you guys? So, anyways, I just wanted to share it with you. There's nothing wrong with hoping something's going to happen, but don't live off hopium. Don't get so emotionally wrapped up in what any of us, and that includes me, any of us dinar gurus, or I hate that word guru, anybody sharing information. I just kind of share information I see. I share my opinion and explain why. Now, that doesn't mean I'm right all the time, but the thing is, when you see stuff like this, you should think a little bit more. That's what's missing in this country. Seriously, critical thinking skills, man, it really is. If this happened in February, we'd have known. All right? So anyways, let me know what you think. I know you guys are going to hit the like button on this one. But if you haven't subscribed already, please do so.